Well, welcome back to my studio and another live painting experiment. Today I'm going to be working on a still life painting, just a very simple painting of a pear. And what I did earlier today was just for convenience for this demonstration is simply set a pear up, take a photo and print out a photo that's about more or less life size or even a little bigger. And that is better to work from that for a demonstration like this, but ideally you'd want to just set up your still life and paint it as you see it in the arrangement you've made. This is obviously a very simple composition, but I'm going to be trying to play around with the color a bit, have some nice thick juicy paint, some strong light and dark contrast, and just perhaps a pleasing little still life painting. So let me show you the reference that I'm going to be using and the paints, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so there's the pear that we're going to be painting. Very simple. And now the paints that I'm going to be using today, pretty much usual type of palette with a cool yellow, cadmium lemon, um, an orange in this case, but it could also be yellow deep, some yellow ochre, burnt sienna, warm red, that's cadmium red light, so cool red with alizarin, crimson, some cerulean blue, and French ultramarine, and titanium white. So pretty much the standard thing, and we can get started with the painting. Um, so let's first get this a little closer, I think, and make sure you can see. Okay, so when faced with a white canvas like this, the first thing I want to try and do is get rid of that as quickly as possible. So a nice big brush like this number 12 will help with that. And I'm going to start putting some color down as quickly as possible. I'm going to bring in some green in the background. First things first, just place out the horizon line, or in this case where the table edge is going to be the horizon line, and I'm going to place the pear more or less in this area. So I'm going for a different sort of background, more green, starting from the right hand side. That's going to be the shadow area, and going into the left where the light is coming from. So we must try and figure out the direction of the light. Get that in. I'm not bringing in any white paint at this stage. And the table, just some yellow ochre in there. We can refine the shapes as we go ahead, but now I just want to get rid of all this white canvas as fast as possible. Okay. And then start blocking in the shape of the pear. One of my favorite still life painting master painters would be Paul Cézanne, and he would, some say anyway, would start off with just a rough shaping in of the object using some ultramarine blue. But the main thing is we just want to place the object and you can change this as you go. At this point, just very rough, mapping it out. Just block in nice and rough, work quickly. With a three-dimensional shape like this, the lights and darks must be set out quite early, and also the warm and cool color, because a still life needs to look like it's got three dimension, and warm and cool color and light and dark shapes is what's going to suggest that to us. And now I'll start bringing in a bit of white. I think we'll move that stem that away. Just start figuring out where I'm going to be putting the highlight. With the background, you can cut in and help you to get your shape settled as well. So that's more or less the placement that I'm going to be using. Now start defining some of the shapes a little more. First, this table. Let's just get this line in. I'll just bring a bit more opaque color into the background. Where this highlight is going to be over here somewhere. There's also going to be a bit more light on the table. And some light on the back. Cool this color down a bit. I need a bigger brush over here. Okay, so let's get some more color in. Oranges, reds, burnt siennas. A bit more pinkish up here as the light gets it. Bit of alizarin over there. Lovely little bits of color. Just got to watch out for the white. It can cool things down a bit too much. So always bring in some more color. Keeping it quite loose. More a case of putting down a mosaic of color. Cutting in a shadow there. Always darker at the base where the shadow starts and getting softer as it moves away. I want a bit more cool greeny yellows with softer edges on this side. little too much there. Don't want to rush into any highlights, but I think we pretty much have what we need. Don't make the highlights too cold. Few defining shapes, and we're pretty much done. Okay, I think that is more or less complete as a quick sketch. Just a few. Just a few touches of those warm colors coming into the background. Just sort of bind it all together. Okay, there's our little pear still life. Can go over it again a bit later. Otherwise, just as a sketch, we'll call that done. And let's have a look. All right. So a little pear sketch. Maybe it looks, could do with a few little touches, but otherwise, there it is. Quick statement, fun exercise to do in the studio. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little still life. Try it for yourself. Very easy to do. Just have fun with it. Look at the main shapes, lights and darks, warm and cool color, and it's really good practice for something bigger. Okay, until next time we do a live studio session, maybe next Friday. I'll see you then. Cheers for now.